Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. So today's video, we're going to talk about the serious water problems that are looming for the West, or western side of America, the West, sorry. Anyway, with that, guys, reading all of these water problems that they're seeing, that they're going to have, it's absolutely alarming. And the crazy shit is, guys, that states like California, Arizona, Nevada, even Colorado, Utah, parts of Mexico, they have seen this coming for quite a while now. They've watched the Lake Mead and Lake Powell drain. Now, Lake Mead is a reservoir, and the levels of that water are so low, guys, that they're entering the stage called dead pool. Now, dead pool is where the water levels of Lake Mead are so low, it's not producing enough power on the turbines, and now the turbines can't produce enough power to supply the 40 million plus people that it supplies. With that, guys, that is a very bad thing, because that means places like Las Vegas are going to take a hit. Now, I know some of you are thinking, fuck Las Vegas, place shouldn't have been out there to begin with. Fair enough, but nonetheless, it's there. So these people are going to have a lot of blackouts, rolling blackouts, and in some cases, guys, they might have to leave, because if you don't have power and you don't have water, why are you there? You can't even stay there, not in that region of the world. It's fucking hot. So, where is this all going? These countries are going to have to figure it out these states are going to have to figure it out really fucking quickly. They had time, guys. They've been warned for probably a decade or so that this problem was coming, and no one did anything about it. Now they look like they're starting to panic. Now, Lake Mead is 150 feet away from being dead pool. Again, that's the level I just explained a minute ago. That is, right now, Lake Mead is at a disastrous level, the lowest it's been in, I think they said 200 years or something like that. So now they hadn't seen anything like that in pretty much our lifetime. Now they're looking at this, and you guys have seen the photos of sunken ships or boats, now resurfacing because the water is receding, right? It's receding back to the center, if you will. And again, it's a problem. It's a problem that's going to need to be solved, but I don't think they have that kind of time to solve that problem. Now, by March 2025, it is said that the reservoir will no longer be a reservoir. It'll just be a lake. That's 2.5 years away, guys. Supposedly, if things keep going the way it's going for Lake Mead, there's not enough rainfall, there's not enough water coming up from the Colorado River and the Green River. Not enough water comes out of there because of the ice caps at the mountains in those regions don't melt, flood the river, flow down into Lake Powell and Lake Mead. If this current trend keeps going, they're going to have nothing but a lake. And a lake that can't produce any power, and a lake that's not going to produce any water. Now, California, Nevada, Arizona are all seeing a drought currently. They are also, as of right now, rationing off water. Or not so much rationing off water, but they're telling people to use less water. The rationing stage hasn't begun yet, but when it does, I suspect it'll be bad. But right now, if I'm not mistaken, they're telling people what they can and can't do with water, like water their lawns. A lot of the water is actually going to the agriculture and the vegetation that needs to be grown for food, So they're going to start rationing off soon, but right now, they're just rules and regulations that are in place to save as much water as they possibly can. Now, the drought contingency plan. Now, this is a plan that these states have in place for something like this. There is something called the law of the river. Now, the law of the river is a act, if you will, or a contract with California, Arizona, Nevada, and parts of Mexico. Not New Mexico, Mexico the country, parts of it. And they are, if I'm not mistaken, Arizona, Mexico, and California are part of the lower basin, and the upper basin would be Utah and Colorado. Right now, Utah and Colorado are not so much affected by this, but they will be when the river starts to trickle water as opposed to pushing water. They'll be affected by it down the line. But this law of the river, guys, this lets these states utilize a certain amount of water. So California gets to use X amount, Arizona gets to use X amount, Nevada, and Mexico. they get to use X amount of water. They're allotted percentage of water they're supposed to use. As of right now, California is using over 20% of that allotment. I'm not sure what that allotment is, but they're over 20% because of their growing population, and they continuously ask for more water. Now, this is where the water wars that I talked about start to unfold, because you got states like California going, well, we got more people and we have agriculture. We need to grow things. We need food to grow for our state, for our people. Then Arizona goes, what are we, fucking chop liver? And Nevada's going, fuck you guys. We got the most lucrative town here. Look at it, it's glowing in the fucking dark. We got so many people here. So they're fighting. They're going to soon start fighting over who gets more water. Now, granted, the place with more population is probably going to win that out. That's California. But you still have Arizona, Nevada, and even parts of Mexico that are going to be like, what the fuck? What about us? That's going to be an interesting fight to see. Now, we might not see that fight on the news. We might hear about it through friends. We might see certain videos, but the news is definitely not going to pick it up and talk about it. Now, if water stops moving completely, meaning that Colorado River and Green River come to a trickle, Wyoming, Utah, and New Mexico will join the water drought situation. That means they're going to be hurting as well. So that part of the region, guys, if they cannot figure out how to get water to these people or how to create more water to go down this river, to go into both Lake Powell and Lake Mead, there's going to be a fucking huge problem. And that part of the world, the United States rather, can be uninhabitable if they don't figure it out, especially Nevada and Arizona. Because if you can't get water to these people, they're fucked. Now, I know some of you are thinking, well, the aquifer should be, no, the aquifer is running out of water as well. They're having an issue with that across the entire country right now. As far as the aquifer collecting water from rainwater, they're seeing a problem with that. So again, this is becoming a problem, guys, where these states can be uninhabitable, because how are you going to live there in heat, no water, and no power? Now, the power thing you can figure out with the sun. But what about water? Now, there are some people that probably still have wells or their own wells and things like that. They might be able to live out there for duration. But once that well is dry, if it runs dry, then what? These are things we think about as preppers, guys, because if you are in one of those states, you are absolutely going to have to pivot. You're going to have to learn how to pivot or move. Those are the only two choices. Now, they have a crisis management level. There is Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 2B, Tier 3. And before that, they have full pool and Tier 0. Now, Tier 0 and full pool are where you don't react, where they don't react. But Tier 1, 2, 2B, and 3, that's where they go, oh shit. Currently, they are at Tier 2, sorry. Tier 1, Arizona took a huge hit with Tier 1 as far as how much water they were getting. They were actually, them and the other states had to pull back on the amount of water they were using, except California. California went above the entitled water they were supposed to use. Now, I don't know how these people are entitled water, but whatever. Arizona had to pull back, and they took the big hit, and they're seeing a huge drought because there's a lot of things they can't do now because their water entitlement was pulled back. Now, to give you an idea of what the tiers are, full pool is 1,200 feet and above. Tier 0 is above 1,090 feet or 1,090 feet. Tier 1 is above 1,075 feet. Tier 2 is below 1,050 feet. Tier 2B is below 1,045 feet, and Tier 3 is below 1,025 feet or 1,025 feet. Once it hits Tier 3, guys, that's where they start to really panic. Now, I think they're panicking now. I think they're shitting themselves right now as we speak. But if they enter Tier 3, they're going to be probably transporting water tankers into a lot of places in these states. I just don't know how they're going to go about it. I don't know how much water they're going to be delivering, and I don't know how constantly. But here's the other problem. There's a new problem. I'm going to do a video on it. Diesel engine oil. Diesel engine oil additives are at a short right now, and they're actually not making the additives. So if they're not making the additives, they're not making diesel engine oil. And if they're not making diesel engine oil, guys, within a few weeks, I'm being told, or I'm reading and researching, in a few weeks, they're going to be out of diesel engine oil completely. If they are out of diesel engine oil, guys, in a couple weeks, add another week or two to that, and you're going to have fucking trucks not delivering anything. You're going to have trains not delivering shit. You're not going to have anything running because there's no diesel engine oil. And to boot, we have the skyrocketing prices of diesel fuel. So, with all of that being said, guys, if this Deadpool thing, which is going to enter the Deadpool levels, once it gets there, and then once it gets to tier 3, the water rationing is going to begin. I mean, the heavy water rationing is going to begin. How are they going to bring water into those areas if trucks stop working as well? There seems to be the clusterfucks of clusterfucks. We're watching it unfold, but people that live in a city like myself, we're not paying attention to it. And I mean we, city people, not me, but they're not paying attention to it. But the rest of us who are, we're looking around like, yo, this is going to get bad. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to get this video out there because I think it's important to follow this information. Again, don't panic. Don't fucking wig out. Just do what we continue to do. And for those of you that live in those states that are affected by this drought or going to be affected by this drought, or you're going to be added to it later on, like I said, Wyoming, Colorado, and Utah, do yourself a favor. Start collecting water, start getting water bottles, get a water tank, catch rainwater, do whatever you need to do before you get to that point where you're standing on line waiting for the water truck to come. You do not want to be that fucking person. Start putting water away. Other than that, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.